So, the reason why I'm doing this video is to talk to people about the new enslavement method, and we're talking about the matrix itself. We're talking about Satan. Satan is connected with this matrix society, this civilization type society. And this is part of the reason why they want to ban the Bible from you. They want to ban your understanding. God begins to say to Cain, Cain, sin waits at the door. What does sin want to do? It wants to rule over you. This is why we're dealing with sin in abundance, right? You're dealing with children going through so many different things because Satan is seeking to rule over you all. And the only intervention now is God. But what I learned when I came to God, right? And because the situations I was in, God says, I'm a chain breaker. So now I'm in hell because now I'm in chains. And being in those chains and being in the matrix and having them try to play with your mind to encourage you to do evil, encourage you to do wrong, encourage you to not study, not because I can tell you something. A lot of us don't know the foundational work actually starts with the education. This is part of the reason why we I can honestly say the attack started in the school system too. We were expecting some guy with some white van to roll up and kidnap us, and we were being kidnapped right there in the schools. Kidnapped right there in the school system. They was rows and walls, and walls was being built. And a lot of times they're not telling you that a lot of the schools that we're going to are engineering and pioneering a lifestyle that is not of God. Now, these schools did not originally start off like this. A lot of these schools started off with a good heart and by faith based people. I mean, when we talk about the movement and the renaissance of things, we know that it started off from a godly place. A lot of these people are Catholics, Christians, Baptists, part of the kingdom of God and the kingdom of Jehovah. But things have transpired where it has changed a lot of different things and have stopped our children from elevation because now they're using techniques to psychologically stop your growth. Have you ever sat there and you're just sitting there quiet and something just starts to attack you because you're quiet? It does not want you to be quiet because it feels that you will shift into your calling or shift into another matrix without it having access to you or without it torturing you. So this is one of the reasons why a lot of us is so tortured because we're already children of God. So that's one shackle move. We sit up there and we serve by faith and we walk not by sight. We're sitting up here dealing with spiritual blindness so that the work of God can be manifested. And yet and still, while we're going through all these different things, we're constantly under attack. And the reason why we're constantly under attack is because they don't want the elevation to happen. They don't want the elevation to happen. This is why I'm going to tell you something. I was working one job one time, right? And I'm on this job and I'm working. And I receive a phone call. And the promotion was 80,000 to 100,000 a year. Now, I remind you, I'm coming from $17 an hour to 80 to $100,000 a year. And the woman said, "Yeah, you're hired. I want to meet with you. I want to talk to you. I want to see where your head at or whatever." They switched and put me in a whole nother type system type thing. To This is where we talk about switches, the switches you're gonna have to deal with that nobody wants to talk about because it makes you sound crazy. What really is crazy is the fact that you've been kidnapped since you was a child. This is part of the reason why the rape situations happen because you were kidnapped. And your kidnapping didn't happen at home. Your kidnapping didn't happen the way that you thought that it was happening to you. It happened because you were blanked out, because you were already connected to a matrix system. And you were already connected to a slave system. Your mama was a slave, your daddy was a slave, grandma, granddad was a slave. Some of these people don't even know they in slavery. You don't know. That's the reason why times are always so hard, because you never knew, or you were never woken up to the fact that basically you in a matrix system. A lot of the diseases and a lot of the medical part of it is telling you actually what it is. When we talk about cecum cell, we're talking about cecum cell, or you're having a seizure. He's having a seizure or whatever. A seizure is you supposed to be getting woke up while you're in the process of them trying to take you out of the matrix. Something's holding you and refusing to let you go. That's a seizure. And that's why our sons are going through this, our daughters, and a lot of people are going through it, because you're being held on both sides, because they found a way to hold you on both sides and not release you. So this is part of what we call the spider web. And if you notice that when you sit up there and you talk about Solomon Keys, it shows you a greedy spirit that is a spider. It has spider legs and it's a greedy spirit. And it shows you this as a demon, that's what's holding you. But you wouldn't elevate to that part because they trying to tell you, oh, this is occultic. No, this is what we're really facing, because they can't come straight out and tell you verbally what's really taking place right now, because they can't be as straightforward as I am. But see, I come from a whole different breed, because I'm not covered up under their arts and their masteries, or I'm not covered by that code. So therefore, I can come to you and I can speak clearly to you in the name of Jesus and in the name of God, to deliver you and liberate you from some things that have been holding us bound. And hope and pray that we all see freedom someday from some of these things. See, we all was convinced that white people was doing this. It's all different cultures. All our people are involved in this foolishness. And half of the people that are holding our people are those same people. When women were cutting off their clitoris and doing female circumcisions, they told them that they were mutilating their bodies, that this is pure mutilation. Nobody's going to tell you that the reason why a female must go through female circumcisions in these situations is because these people sit here with vibrators and all kinds of mess playing up under your clothes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They play up under your clothes 24 hours a day while you sit there docile in a vegetated state, enslaved. And I know y'all hearing us verbalize this to you, but nobody's going to say it clear enough where you can understand it. And it stems from where we sending our kids to school. Now, guess what? The government's funding for you to get education because it's the best thing for you. A lot of people funding this stuff so that you can grow because it's the best thing for you. But what happens when the best thing for you, the enemy has seized and taken over and refuses to allow anybody in the area to build a place of refuge for the people to actually educate themselves? So our children are now forced to go to their schools, forced to have those walls built in their heads, those psychological things. This is why they can say certain words to you, because they have hypnotized the children for so long. So it's ridiculous. That's the reason why you can't pick your child up any time of the day that you feel like it, because at a certain time of the day, they're doing hypnosis. In fact, some schools even do hypnosis all throughout the day. Some of us are going to work. We're suffering the same hypnosis, the same strategy that they're using with our children in the school, they're using as far as with our employers. And our employers may be victims of this themselves. and not be aware. See, because there was a time in my life where my sister was telling me her story of being raped, and me knowing that I had been raped, I could not tell her mine. I could not divulge information to her and let her know, hey, I've been raped too. I carry the same scars as you. There was no difference in who raped me than who raped you, because I need to explain this to a lot of people. You're seeing family members' faces and you're holding grudges against mama, brother, sister, cousin, auntie, uncle, whoever has hurt you. And there's a little secret I got to let you know about this matrix system. They like agents on the matrix. They can form and make you think they're somebody that they're not. Some of our children have been born into this matriarchal society where this slave society has built them their family. So you were so young that they gave you a family. So you didn't even have your own mindset of who your family was or what your family is. And that may very well be your case, my case, and a whole bunch of other people. Your kids can be removed from you and you will be forced to care for other children while your child is being abused in their adulthood. And yeah, they sit up there and they tell you, oh, join us. Join what? Join who? I prefer to go through before I join something that's destructive to me and to everybody else. I prefer, kill me off, whatever. I prefer to die before I join you. So this is another way. Some people cop out, they join them and go through 10 times way more abuse than if you didn't join them. Trust me, I have seen it happen. So you're just going through more abuse, and then after they finish saying, okay, we tired of abusing you, they give you a whole whop of money and tell you, okay, now get out of our face. And yet and still, you still in that same matrix. Nothing ever changes. You're still in that same system. You're still going through the same thing. It's not until you wake up and start to realize, okay, well, what's really for me? Because it's the same slavery. Same slavery from back 1800 sometime. It's the same slavery. They want to keep you dumb. So how they gonna keep you dumb? You work all the time, you ain't got time to study, you ain't got time to educate yourself. So you gotta learn ways to sit up there and educate yourself in between the time so that you can function on a high frequency. Yeah, this is vibrations, baby. Vibrate them. Vibrate them. Same thing that they talked about in Wakanda. Yeah, woe cometh to man. And y'all need to know this. They're coming unto man. Woe come to man. They got rape going on with our daughters. They got all kinds of stuff that's taking place. And yes, woe has came unto man. And it's seeking to destroy us. I remember there was times when people would never be this bold to even speak out disrespectful to you. But now we're dealing with a system that has no respect for you. It is so flamboyantly bold that it will sit up there and it will say and do anything to you and feel like it's not supposed to deal with the consequences or the repercussions of it. I remember where we once had the right to run for city commissioners in our community and run for official positions in our community. Now you run for official position. They sitting up there, they trying to baker at you. They trying to take you through a million different things. They're trying to keep you incarcerated, keep you arrested and everything. This is the reason why when you go to that prison, you see all the Muslims, half of them are Masonic order. Half of them are Masons. They're part of the Masonic order. They know the architectural work. They know what's really going on. They know that this is a plantation. Half of them dudes, I'm sitting up here, I'm talking to Wiccan. I worked at a prison, I'm talking to Wiccan men. And these Wiccan men are on a whole nother level. They know how to shape, like, actually, like, body shift and all kinds of stuff. They are aware. They're in tune to a whole nother level. So they incarcerated them in a prison, right? That don't even have walls to it. Until you function at a high, how can I say, a high frequency, you will learn that the walls you see in your house is no longer really walls in your house. And that's when they get scared because now they got to sit up there, man. I done been tied to some crap. Man, them people done put some mess on me. I ain't never thought it'd be on me because I'm functioning at a high frequency, man. Function at a high frequency. I was just like, man, I'm going back and getting my education. So I started buying like stuff like iExcel. I started investing. Like, I don't have no problem even paying Khan Academy. So I started studying back the stuff that I lost. Man, when I started doing that, stuff started revelation. I started getting revelation on stuff. So I'm functioning at a high frequency because I'm studying and I'm educating myself. Because education is one key. Then I started functioning at a high frequency. Okay, now I got to try to make money for myself. So I started working. But guess what? Working is a slave plantation. So no matter who we work for, they still trying to enslave us. But the only way out is the way through. So you won't have to go in there and work and do what you have to do because that's the only way out. Because they're gonna tell you, okay, um, these people the Antichrist, right? Okay. I admit that they're the Antichrist. All right, they don't like Jesus. How many people don't like Jesus? There's a lot of people out there that don't like Jesus. We're dealing with devils and demons. My whole community is full with number devils and demons. What do you expect them to say? We love Jesus? They don't. They don't like Jesus. They don't like us who worship God. They actually do an initiation process for these private orders right here in our community. They have a private order group that sits up there and attack Christian people right here in our community. And that's their agenda, that's their goal, that's their mission. So those that are saved, whether and let me remove Christian from there and actually call it holiness. So those people that are holy in our community, they attack whether they're Muslims, whether they're Christians, whether they Jews, they don't care what they is, they attack them. And that's the only way that, and they still attack them even when they sin, but at the same time, they won't never know it because you're in sin. So sin rules over you. Only way you're going to know that you're under attack is when you remove yourself from the sin, and now sin has no charge over you. So now you're no longer under the order of sin. You manage yourself. So you function at a high frequency. So when you function at a high vibranium, when your brain function at a high level, vibranium, when your brain vibes at a high level, vibranium, when your brain vibes at a high level, you start to get different messages. I repeated that so many times because I'm hoping that you catch on to some of the stuff that has already been said without actually being said, because they said the revolution will not be televised, but I haven't seen anything more visual. When I tell you, it's so much stuff because we're dealing with our young girls, right? And our young men, right? We have taught our young men that it's okay to have sex, and we taught our young girls not to, right? I say it's time we safeguard both our children, our males and our females. I am so sick and tired of seeing men become chief whores, calling themselves pimps, and they're chief whores and prostitutes. And that's a man. And that's what he is. I'm tired of seeing women in those same conditions. Chief whores and prostitutes. And nowadays, this system that we're in is a matriarch system. So guess what? They plan to do your daughters like this, your sons like this. And some of us are having children in these matriarch systems that weren't made for man or by man. Some of this stuff was just made as what would we call it? Testing grounds. We would call it testing. Like it was supposed to be a simulation that tests your strength, tests your ability, tests your discipline. And that's the way they would joke about it back in the days, even when it was used. But now this same system, somebody has weaponized it against mankind and began an antebellum society, assimilated society. This is what Satan really is, this simulation that stops you from growing, stops you from being. But the moment that you wake up to this society, there are certain shackles and walls that were built on your brain to stop you as a child that will release you in your adulthood. So I get angry because I'm dealing with my son now, and my son is not with me. They deprived me of my son, no matter how much your chronological logs were flawed and you put falsified information in, no matter how much your attorney that you had lied, no matter how much the attorney that you gave me worked for you, no matter how much went on, you still got away with depriving me of my son. So my son's getting ready to go into high school. And remind you, I've been telling you about these high school. They are demonic. They are devils. He's finna go into hell. And every time he went to school, whether no matter where we were, every time he went to school, he has to outrun something. Road runners outrun something that's trying to devour it and destroy it. Now, I'm going to be real with you. We're taught that the coyote teaches you how to escape. But if you're a road runner, you are the coyote's meal. So know what you're dealing with when you lakeside and you're born by a river and ain't nothing changing because everybody's sitting up there coming at you. Know what you're dealing with. But one day a change gonna come. So the reason why I have to explain this to you because our kids grew up in these systems and these systems were not for them. They grew up going to school. Every school that our kids been going to has been to disable them, to handicap you. Do you know mentally you when we talk about dementia is an onset through Alzheimer's, right? Through them erasing your memory. That's why you deal with dementia. A lot of people gonna look at me and say, "Man, this girl crazy, man. Ain't nobody on that stuff. This ain't really going on in the hood. This ain't really happening. This ain't no real stuff." Yes, it is real. I wouldn't lie to you, man. I don't have no motives. I don't have I have no motives. I don't get paid for this. There ain't no money behind this for me. Guess what? I got videos on YouTube. I don't even get money off. I don't collect cash off of that. If you see somebody collecting cash off of that, that's one of these demons that's walking around with him with these spider legs and stuff like that. That's trying to take over the people. I don't get paid for none of this. I do this because I can. I know it. I know if I don't divulge it and I don't sit up here and impart this wisdom, that it will fall into the abyss. A lot of people tell us be quiet. Stay quiet, man. You stay quiet, you gonna eat. I trust you gonna eat. I promise you, money gonna come. And yet and still, we still gotta rage against the dying of life. We gotta race against the dying of life. They say light, I say life. We dying out here. They killing us with diseases. You sit in there vegetated. I can't tell you, man. The worst thing that hurts me the most, I sit here in a vegetated state, can't fight my enemies at all because I'm in a matrix system. This is where we talk about spiritual battles. Spirits are those that you can't see, that you're fighting up against. So that's why our parents told us we have to walk not by sight but by faith, knowing that everything works together for the good of those that love God and called according to his purpose. Evil says, I reign over you when you sin. So how you gotta reign over these spirits, you can't sin. And I know what you're saying. Yeah, that sounds stupid to me because you should be fighting, you should be this, you should be that. How are we supposed to fight this thing? And honestly, our people left the key right there in the Bible, in the Quran. And when you hear the Quran sit up there and give confirmation to what the golden calf was in it after we exited Egypt, he told you about that heifer. You're worshiping sin. And you say you live in life like it's golden, but it's not. So for me, it's like I have to. I don't get a choice in this thing. So I have to tell y'all the truth. When you fighting spiritually, all they gonna try to do is hit here and force you to do sin every day. Force you to cuss. You may not cuss, but you may hear cussing words come out. I can't tell you, sometimes I talk and it's like I'm sitting up here and I'm talking and I'm saying one thing and the enemy's trying to make me say something else. I'm saying one thing and the enemy trying to fight with me to make me say something that's disrespectful. Trust me, and they don't care because they flamboyant in front of your face, because they'll talk about you in front of your face because they think that you blacked out while you work all day long. So they talk disrespectful in front of your face and be very disrespectful and stuff like that. I thank God that the people that I've been around so far at work, whether they like me or not, they haven't been that disrespectful, because I don't take kind to it, but I try not to say nothing because they think that I'm docile, that I'm out, and don't know that I be sitting right there registering every word that they say out of their mouth, every action that they do. And that blank out that they do, where we all sit there blanked out through a hypnosis state, whether you at work or you not at work, they trying to hypnotize us. That seizure that one goes through, because I go through seizures as well. I had to go through them by myself. I'm in a house by myself. I go through them seizures by myself, where I can feel somebody like shaking my body and just like trying to pull me out. And I can't. I can't. I don't have power to get out. I don't have a way out. I hear you. I can hear you. I can't see you clearly, but I hear you. I hear what's going on. I can't see you clearly. And then there are times where I see you clearly, I can't hear you. So I deal with the devil. And when we talk about the devil, we talk about marriage. So now we're dealing with a marriage here, where you can either choose to serve God or you can be married to the enemy for the rest of your life and go through suffrage for the rest of your life. So it's a choice that has to be made in this time and in this season. But God doesn't leave his kids. I can't tell you, I suffered for years and years and years. I served God, but I still suffered. I served God, but I still suffered. It's like I went through 100 years and they ain't even counted of serving God. 100 plus years of serving God wasn't even counted. It wasn't even on the books. I felt like I was serving God in vain. But nevertheless, all them years that I served God, guess how many years I can count saying that I wasn't sexually active, and I wasn't sexually active all 100 and some years. I wasn't sexually active. But at the same time, guess what it added up to? 8, 9 years, 7 years, 6 years. You know how it goes. But this is the type of stuff that people don't get to talk about, because if we talk about it, the first thing they're gonna say, we crazy. Nah, you throw it off. You crazy. Because the system now is ran by the oppressors. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principles, against God in high places. God is a liberator. So they never wanted you to be liberated and free enough to know that basically your brother, your sister, your auntie didn't rape you. They didn't rape you. Some of them was forced. When we talk about Dunbar village situation where the mother and the son was raped and the son was forced to rape the mother, we're dealing with Dunbar situations right here in our community every day, undocumented. And guess what? To keep them undocumented, you stay with amnesia. That's why we got so many people in dementia and Alzheimer's right here in these communities. Because guess what? They don't want you to tell what's really going down. I sit up here and I speak this knowing that my life go in danger every time that I talk and every time I speak out. I can die today or tomorrow. One thing I'm going to say, at least I left on this atlas my voice of the oppression and the slavery that takes place within the matrix of this society. And I ain't got to be scared to say it. They know. They know I ain't lying on them. They know I'm telling the truth about it. They know I ain't part of the crew. I don't whoop de woo or make it do what it do with them. I don't get it down like that. I can't tell you. I've been raped for years and years and years. What I told you, never been sexually active. I chose God. When they say, well, who you gonna serve? I serve God. I chose God. Guess what? Ended up dating this dude. Dude just showed me who he was. Tried to be a pimp. Tried to be everything that he wasn't supposed to be, and stuff like that. Cut him off and got better. Each year I got better and better. Guess what? I'm in a shed. I'm just getting better. Could have been out on the streets. I guess God set up there and protected me from the streets and let me at least be able to lock my stuff up. But yet and still, I was enslaved. I was going through. They didn't care about me. They still stealing checks. Men that I thought that was supposed to be protectors turned out to be predators. I'm calling on a protector. I thought you was fam. I thought you was good. I thought you was my friend. I remember when you told me you wasn't a good dude, but I ain't never thought that you wouldn't be a good dude to me. And I paid for it. Cause you said it. But what you showed me was something different, but now I can believe it. Know what you're dealing with, women. Because they're going to tell you exactly what their plans is. They're going to tell you exactly what their agendas is, women and men. I need to know this because they've been telling our sons them to wild out and just get loose. Our sons don't need to know, baby, you got to protect yourself like you a woman. And you ain't a woman. You are all man. But you got to protect yourself like you one. I ain't having sex with nothing. I'm a man and I'm going to be a virgin. Guess what? That's rare. They don't have things like you. They don't even know how to receive you because they now got the agenda out that they're going to rape little babies. So they penetrate babies before they even go home sometimes. Or as soon as they get home, they start penetrating infants because they refuse to have virgins in their cities. And these are the stories that they're not going to tell y'all about. These are the things that they're not going to tell y'all about pedophiles. You know, I was so proud to have my daughter, and I'm sitting up there and I'm showing her picture off and her sonogram off. And I'm like, this is my daughter. How about that sonogram brought me to tears? Because I had to wake up to the truth and there was nothing I can do about it. There was nothing I could do about it. Enemy hit me with a checkmate. This is the reason why I tell people, serve God, man. Know who's for you. If it's for you, it's going to be telling you the right thing. If it's for you, it's going to be trying to make sure that you're smart enough where you can defeat the odds. This ain't a gay thing. This ain't a straight thing. See, a lot of them trying to keep a straight and gay war going. Bruh, man, God say man should not sleep with mankind. That covered gay and straight people. It ain't even a controversy no more. But they don't care about that. And then now you're going to deal with pretty soon. They're going to start uprooting everything out of the Word of God. The actual scriptures, that's why you got all these books showing up all of a sudden that the constellations are bringing out now. Constellations like bringing out books left and right. You know what I'm saying? These stars bringing out books left and right. This is the Apocrypha, and this is the Lost Books. This is 88 this and 99 that. This is the Ethiopian Lost Books. You know what I'm saying? And they're bringing out all this stuff, but they're telling you stories within the stuff to like try to guide you and tell you the truth that's really going on. Cause man, we dealing with some mess that we've been dealing with since biblical times, since Adam and Eve time, man. Adam and Eve time. When you sit up there and you read the book of Genesis, use discernment. Whose life? God is life. Where would I sit up here and I'll gain knowledge from? I gain knowledge from God. God know about good and evil. That's how he's able to show you how to discern between the two. Oh, but if I eat from God again, I inherit what? Eternal life. They know this. But yet and still, they keep arranging you for your death. Be careful, people. All I'm saying to you is I do these videos to encourage you, to help you along the way. I'm no angel. I'm not perfect, baby. I make mistakes. I try. And that's all I can do. I'm going to try to be as perfect as I can. My brother's still mad with me because I eat pork. Honestly. Salami, bacon, it is what it is, man. I'm going to eat some pork. I ain't got time for the craziness, man. I never know what I got to eat. I'm too broke to sit up there and eat expensive. And don't give me no lecture about, oh, well, you know. And I always tell them, I say, look, God say we going to eat food sacrificed to the idols and stuff like that. But know that these are still my people because trust me, I'm in a place where it's nothing but evil and I'm eating things that I would not normally eat because, of course, I love fruits and vegetables. But at the same time, when you're trying to survive, you got to sit up there and you got to know how to. And sometimes we ain't given no choice because you can give the enemy terrain. Because when you say, I don't eat bacon and I don't eat pig and I don't eat this and I don't eat that, I'm going to show you what he's going to do. He's going to sit up there and he's going to starve you out and force you to eat just what you say you didn't eat. But guess what? When they know I'm eating all kinds of meat, you can say what you want to say because fruits and vegetables, man, them people took every vegetable it was and sacrificed it to the idol, even down to cucumbers. Sacrifice that mess to the idols. All that mess done been sacrificed. So know what you're dealing with. Don't give the enemy no reign, no territory. I'm not telling you to eat things that are inappropriate to you. If you can really hold yourself and you know that you ready to stand fast in that, do it. I love you for doing it because you're doing something that, I'm not as strong. I fast. I'll sit up there and I fast until I die. But to actually eat and then say, okay, well, not this, not this, not that, I can't really be as strong as I want to be. But I am very strong in it, but I'm not as strong as I should be. So be smart, you guys. Don't take on heavy burdens. Like they'll give you burdens that you don't even have to bear just to, get away. Like I told you, they now want you to lie and call it the truth. So be careful. God bless.